All right, Roger Martin again, and this is from this TEDx Rupin talk about glucose in the blood and the different bodies processing the same foods differently and using this research to help people monitor their uh, glucose levels through their diets.
Algorithm could then take any person, even people who are not part of our original study, and predict the response to arbitrary meals with high accuracy. So as a final step, we asked whether we can also use this algorithm to design personalized diets that normalize blood glucose levels. So we recruited and profiled new participants, and we asked the algorithm to predict 2 diets for each person. In one diet, which we call the bad diet, we asked the algorithm to predict foods for which that person would have high responses. And in the other good diet, we asked it to predict foods for which that person would have low responses. And each person then followed each diet for 1 week. Now, by design, the diets had to be identical in calories. In fact, all breakfasts, lunches, and dinners had the same calories on different days. And it's also important to note that each person received a different personalized diet, and that there were even some foods that were given to some people on their good diet, but to others on their bad diet. Now, to show you that these diets are not the obvious ones you might think of, here they are for one of our participants. Now, take a moment and see if you can guess for yourself which one the algorithm predicted to be the good diet and which to be the bad diet for this particular participant. And as you look at these, notice that each diet contains foods that would not typically appear in standard diets. And now for fun, let's play a quick guessing game. And you all have to participate. So raise your hand if you think the diet on the right is the good one. Okay? Now raise your hand if you think the diet on the left is the good one. Okay, definitely we see nearly a 50-50 split here, showing you that it's definitely not trivial to guess. And I can tell you that for this participant, the algorithm predicted the diet on the right, the one with the ice cream, to be the good one. And so now the only question is, how good did these diets work? And what I'll show you next is, in our view, perhaps the most striking result that came out of our study. So here are the continuous glucose levels of this participant when following the bad diet. And you can clearly see abnormally high glucose levels after meals, indicating that this participant...
Wow, really high levels. Look at those spikes. Wow, look at those spikes. Incredible.
...has impaired glucose tolerance and is likely pre-diabetic. But on the good diet, the one with the ice cream and the same amount of calories as the bad diet, this same pre-diabetic participant achieves fully normal blood glucose levels without even a single spike across the entire week.
Wow, without a single spike across the whole week. Wow.
Obviously, we were very happy to find out these results. And in fact, we found similar results for most participants for which we designed personalized diets using our algorithm. Now, not only that, but the good diet also induced several consistent changes in the gut bacteria of most participants.
Consistent changes in the good bacteria. That's impressive to know.
And it seemed that these changes were beneficial because bacteria that in other studies were associated with good outcomes tended to increase after the good diet, and bacteria associated with disease tended to decrease. And this result is, of course, very intriguing because it suggests that in addition to normalizing blood glucose levels during the intervention week, the good diet also induced beneficial effects that may persist even beyond the intervention.
Okay, so the bacteria, the microbes, were increased with the good diet as well. So that's good to know.
So what's the take-home message from all of this? Well, based on the glucose responses variability that we saw across 1,000 people, our conclusion is that there is no single best diet for humans, because we are all too different. It also means that if a certain diet hasn't worked for you, then maybe it was the wrong diet for you. Your dietary failures may not be your fault. Your diet may have failed simply because it did not take information about you as an individual into account. So what can you do with this information now? Well, right now, you can actually measure your personal glucose responses to your favorite meals using simple glucose devices that you can buy at your local drugstore. And I guarantee that you'll be surprised at which foods personally spike your glucose levels and which do not.
So I can buy a simple device that will monitor that glucose level as I eat meals or specific foods. Interesting. I need to look into that.
As a more complete solution, we are working hard to make our algorithms available to everyone so that you'll be able, from your home, to provide basic clinical information about yourself, send a sample of your microbiome, and in return receive personalized dietary advice. We are also starting longer-term dietary intervention studies in both prediabetics and diabetics that will go on for a full year. Because we believe that if the effect of normalizing blood glucose levels that we were able to obtain in 1 week could persist for a longer time period, then we might be able to reverse and even cure these conditions, which constitute one of the worst epidemics of our times. More broadly, I believe that we are entering a new era in the study of nutrition, one in which we will move away from asking what is the best diet for humans, and instead focus on the more appropriate question of what is the best diet for me. Thank you very much.
Well done, well done. There's a second video. We'll give you a full video on this. And well done, that's all I could say. George Martin from Billings, Montana, good day.